Hey, I'm lead programmer and co-designer on Pocket Rumble, and I'm here to tell you about what makes Pocket Rumble different from other 2D fighters. So the main focus of our game is strategy over execution. A lot of 2D fighters have a really interesting strategic high-level play to them that most people don't get to experience because of the executional barrier that comes with doing optimal combos, supers, sometimes even a special move. And Pocket Rumble's trying to minimize that executional barrier without compromising any of the fundamentals of the genre. And we've accomplished this in a couple ways. The first way is our moveset. We have 2 attack buttons, light and heavy, which means 6 normals for all characters. We wanted to avoid having any kind of normal that was only useful mid-combo or only useful as a combo ender. We wanted all of our moves to have a use just as a move on their own, rather than have to rely on a string to be useful in a real match. Throws in Pocket Rumble have direction leniency on them, which means you get to pick whether you want to throw them left or right by tapping that direction during the animation. Every character also has 4 specials, which are executed the same way universally. You execute these specials by holding down back or down forward and one of the attack buttons. You have to hold this for a certain amount of frames so you won't accidentally get a special when you're trying to do a normal. This actually emulates really well the time it takes to do a quarter circle or a DP motion in traditional 2D fighters. This also means you don't get any kind of distinct advantage using one kind of controller over another, because all the specials will come out at the same time. The other way we've minimized execution is our input buffering system, which allows you to hold in the input of a move while you're stunned or knocked down or doing another attack, and it'll come out on the first possible frame. This means traditionally difficult combos that include one-frame links or wake-up reversals are really easy to execute, and more of a matter of if you want to do them rather than if you can pull it off. On top of helping people with execution, we also help players understand the game better as a whole as they play by showing the frame data in real time via the frame data bar underneath the health bar. And we also show damage percentages of combos underneath the combo counter. And in training mode itself, we have all the things you're familiar with from other games' training modes. On top of hitbox display, you can change the game speed, and you also have quick save and quick load states, so you can practice one particular thing over and over. We also have a lesson mode that'll go over each character, their strengths and weaknesses, and teach you basic strings with them, so you can get a good head start as to understanding your character, without having to resort to YouTube to find a tutorial on the character. Pocket Rumble is built to be as tournament friendly as possible, so we actually have double blind character pick even in offline multiplayer, tap to bind controls in the character select, and options that make it so that both players have to press pause to actually pause the game. We're also bringing some tournament meta into the 3-round structure with Pocket Rumble. So traditionally, if you lose a match in a tournament, you have the option to switch to another character, but the person who won cannot. In Pocket Rumble, if you lose a round, you have the option to switch to a backup character, which you selected earlier in the character select, and your opponent has to stick with the character that they played and won the round with. Character variety is a pretty big deal in Pocket Rumble, so on top of having completely different normals, each character also has completely different movement options, completely different ways of gaining meter, and also completely different ways of using that meter. You can see Tenchi here, he can dash forwards and backwards. He can gain meter by just performing specials, it doesn't matter if it hits or not. And he can use half of his meter to perform a rumble counter during block stun to get pressure off, or he can use all of his meter to perform a rumble fireball, which is a much stronger version of his regular fireball. Bigger hitbox, more damage, goes faster, comes out faster. Naomi has a faster backdash, but she can actually run forward, which she can cancel the run into any standing normal, and you'll actually have some run drag on it, so you can do combos that aren't actually normally possible unless you run cancel into them. Also from run, you can jump to do a little bit of a hop, which doesn't go as high vertically, but goes a lot further horizontal. So she gains meter by charging, and she can charge up to 3 bars of her meter. And from there, she can perform EX versions of her specials, which basically just combine the 2 specials that are on that particular downward diagonal. All the other characters are equally different, so you can read up about them on the Kickstarter page itself. A feature we're excited about in Pocket Rumble is the Ghost AI, which analyzes your matches and starts creating an AI that plays like you. We'll be using the Ghost AI for career mode, which will have you fictionally traveling across the globe to become the best Pocket Rumble player. And we'll take the best players from the beta and take their ghosts and put that in there. And if you're a fan of the FGC, you'll actually see a couple familiar faces in this mode as well. The Ghost AI will also be used on ranked multiplayer, so if you lose a match, you'll download the ghost of the person who beat you, and you'll be able to fight them again using their ghosts, rather than actually having to track them down and challenge them to a private match. Even in its early stages now, it's pretty interesting to fight your own ghosts, because you can immediately see your flaws and improve on them, because you'll be actually fighting something that is playing a lot like you. So fighting games get a bad rap for having minimal single-player content, and we're hoping to avoid this in Pocket Rumble by having a ton of unlockable content in the single-player modes. We don't want to spoil too much, but what we will say now is that there are crossover boss fights for each character in arcade mode for you to unlock by clearing certain parameters. If single-player isn't your thing, there's also a lot of online multiplayer options as well. We're powered by GGPO, and we have ranked ELO, character-specific leaderboards, so you can see who the best Tenchi player is or who the best Quinn player is, on top of a just general leaderboard that will tell you who the best player is overall. We'll also have an unranked lab mode, which will have all kinds of weird parameters for you to deal with while you're fighting people. And we'll also have custom matches so you can invite your friends in. The game is written in Lua, so it's actually going to be really easy for people to make mods for this game that change the entire game if they want to. And the cool thing about it is you'll be able to play online over GGPO with your friends as long as they have the same mod installed. We're also very happy to announce that Neo Geo Pocket homebrewer Thor is porting Pocket Rumble to the actual Neo Geo Pocket hardware. It won't have all the features that the main game will have, but it will most likely have all the characters and arcade mode for you to play through. So, thanks for checking out our Kickstarter. If you liked what you saw here, I recommend you check out the rest of the Kickstarter page. You can see our stretch goals and our backer rewards. And if you can't support us monetarily, but you want to support us, you can vote for us on Steam Greenlight. The quicker we get through the Greenlight process, the quicker we can get the beta out, which you can get into just by pre-ordering the game.